which takes only once a year. It's humorous speech contest and table topics contest. I am pleased to open the meeting. So let's wish all our participants good luck, guys. I'm also so, and with no further delay, yes, we need for just 2 minutes, yes? 1 minute. So I was going to pass the control to our chair lady, but now I'm going perhaps to tell how smart she is, how intelligent she is, and how she agreed to be our chair lady. And some of you witnessed the similar contest in our talks. It was really a fantastic thing. It was really just a perfect thing, and I was really proud to be contest chair. Honestly, now it's time for the Art Turkish family to lead our meeting. Are you ready, by the way? So meet our smart, intelligent, cute, beautiful chair lady, Ludmila.
Okay, I need to fix somehow because I don't want to hold it. Is it okay?
I'm going to take a picture.
Okay. Done? Okay. So we have a lot of guests. And first, before we move to our boring rules and explaining what is going on here, I want to practice with me how we support all our participants. All of you have 2 hands, and what we do with these hands? Before you greet our contestants. Today we have 2 contests. First, humorous. Second is table topic contest. First is humorous contest. We have 7 participants, and we have order of these participants. And unfortunately, I'm not allowed, while I'm presenting our speakers, to tell you, as Yura presents me, how brilliant, charismatic, humorous they are. They all are really great speakers, but I'm not allowed to tell you. But I'll tell you now, all they are awesome. And now we move to our boring rules. We have order of our participants. And first, I want to present our technical team who will help us. We have, not so good see, we have Luba, yes? We have our timer Luba. Luba, please pin yourself to our online participants. What you need? Okay. We have 2 offline timers. It's Natalie, who is a bit busy now. She will show you cards with red, yellow, green, yellow, and red. And we have also friends from Svoya Club, Elizaveta Ukhan. She also will, like, you notice how well dressed our timers. We need Luba, are you not in yellow, unfortunately, but timers offline are working really good, like green, and you can join them to be like yellow card. We have also secret judges in this audience here, and but I'm not allowed to present them, and I don't know them. But we have our official chief judge, and I want to invite to the stage Vadim Surzik, who is our area B1 director. And Vadim, all judges are present, properly briefed, and ready to judge.
Yeah, I confirm that all the secret judges were instructed and are eager to do their job.
Awesome. Friends from our from Coma Club is Vadim. Sorry, my tongue a bit twist today. Maxim Moskalenko, who will help our chief judge to collect all the ballots and help to find out results. The people really lucky one because they first know all the results. Now we have order of our participants for humorous contest. I mean, we have both offline here on stage and online here. I believe we will turn off lights here in order to see better our screen. The first 2 contestants, it would be online, Dec Cluskey. Second, here offline, Tymur Berezhnyi. Third, Yura Boychuk. Fourth, Volodymyr Ukrainets also here. Fifth, Kevin Beck's online. Sixth, Oleksandr Myronchuk online. And seventh, Tetiana Bilous also online. Yeah. Each contestant who came here on the stage need your support and applause. And I passed stage with handshake to them. And now I move to boring rules. I have to read them all. The subject of humorous speech shall be selected by participants, and speakers have to avoid potentially objectionary language, anecdotes, and materials. I will call participants to the stage by introduction, first name, then title of the speech, again name, and again twice speech title and name. Like, for example, Myronchuk, why online dating app is the best source for stand-up? Why is the online dating app is best source for stand-up with Myronchuk? And what you are doing? I'll explain mostly everything, but we also, for our contestants, be careful with time because you might be disqualified. Your speech has to be not from 5 to 7 minutes, but you might be disqualified if you speech less than 4 minutes 30 seconds or more than 7 minutes and 30 seconds. But our timer will not show you anyhow that it's more than 7 minutes and 30 seconds. For table topic content, I'll explain you a bit later after our humors. So, are you ready? Our participants? Yeah. What?
We'll just do a brief sound check.
Okay.
We're gonna do a brief sound check.
Yeah.
So let's say it in this way. I will write in the chat the name of the speaker who is online. Please just say a couple of words and we'll give you feedback. You're not gonna hear the feedback straight away, but we're gonna give it to you. Baba, can you mute me? Just starting in 5, starting with Dec.
My name is Dec Cluskey. I'm speaking to you from Eastbourne in the United Kingdom, and I'm with Battle Speakers, and I am performing in the humorous speaking and in the table topics competition. I hope you can hear that. Please say you do. Hello, hello, hello. Mary had a little lamb. Her fleece is white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, her lamb was sure to go. And in the music
gave you the
industry,
thumbs up. I think, Dec, you're all right, mate.
Thank you very much.
Well, okay, the sound is good. Kevin, Dec, everyone online, you will be audible. It's fantastic. Back to the.
But that's not a sound check. A sound check for Dec. That's a
And
sound check for Dec.
really attentive while you listen our speakers, because we also, every person in this audience will watch for the best speaker. We will have also People's Choice Award. And without further delay, I move to inviting first participant in humorous contest here on the stage. We have Dec, everything okay? Okay. Dec Cluskey, The Ages of Man, Woman. The Ages of Man, Woman, Dec Cluskey.
Whoa! The ages of man or woman. Have you ever seen a mother and she's sitting there with her little baby and people say, oh, how old is the baby? Seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months. Madam Contest Chair. It all starts with the minutes and the weeks, and then it goes to fractions. Fractions. Do you remember fractions at school? How old is your baby? 3 3/4. Then we get to the nearly stage. Nearly. He's nearly 5. Then you get to going. He's going to be 6. Then the dreaded age of teenagers. I've had 3 teenagers. Lost all my money. Went broke, which means practically bankrupt, sending them to public school. I don't regret it at all. If you think 3 teenagers are hard to manage, try 3 HP printers. Then no age, 17. 17. Driving license. License to kill. Then celebrating 18. Celebrating 18. Becoming 21. Now should you join Toastmasters? Turn 30. Do you understand the phrase turning? Sour milk. When milk is old, it becomes sour and it turns. Now should you join Toastmasters? Here's an interesting point. If you ask any child of 12 years of age what car they want when they turn 30, they will say a Ferrari, a Maserati, a Lamborghini. So how come when they get to 30 years of age, they are driving a 20-year-old Volkswagen? The ages of man and woman. So you're pushing 40. Whoa! Put the brakes on! Put the brakes on! Before you know it, you reach 50. You better be rich by the time you're 50, because it's too late to start being rich. You make it to 60. They didn't think you would. I went into a black depression when I reached 60. Suddenly I realized I was going to die sometime. Never thought of that before. Black depression. Nobody could help me for 3 months, and then, thank goodness, I got out of the depression. So you become 21, you turn 30, you're pushing 40, you reach 50, you make it to 60. Well, now, should you join Toastmasters? You hit 70, like a brick wall, stone wall. You hit 70. Ah! It's the best decade. Because if you've done things properly in your life, you're rich, or at least you're very comfortable. I say that I am comfortably poor. A good way of putting it. But your children should be grown up. They should have flown the nest, as we say. The ages of man and woman. You get into your 80s like you're getting into your pajamas at night. 90! It all starts to go backwards. You're going to be 92. You're 93 3/4. When you get to 100, then they say you're 104 months. 102 and 6 weeks. The ages of man and woman. So how do you stay young? Throw away the numbers and join Toastmasters like Dorothy Margeson, who was the president of our club in Battle last year. She was age 93. She went paragliding when she was 94. Age is nothing. She was area director at age 90. So join Toastmasters and forget about your age, weight, heart. The doctor is paid fortunes to look after your health. Let him worry about your age, your weight, your heart, your knees, your hips. And remember this message. I'll leave you with this thought, this message. At age 85, success is for men remembering to pull your zip up. At age 90, success is remembering to pull your zip down. At age 95, success is remembering your daughter's name. At age 100, success is remembering your own name. But real success is being with Toastmasters.
For our judges.
Ha 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 ha! Ha 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 ha! Ha 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 ha!
Ти не шути тут.
Don't forget to mute, Dec.
One minute is over, and I'm ready to invite to the stage our second participant of Humorous contest. We mute everybody online, yeah? Okay. Tymur Berezhnyi, just 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes, Tymur Berezhnyi.
Oh, I should pin it somewhere. How do I look? Do you like my style? Especially these sports trousers, this shirt, like Tetiana guys used to wear. And I actually dressed like this recently because I wanted to go cycling right before curfew. And it was not hot already. I thought nothing would happen if I come home 5 or 10 minutes after midnight. So I parked my bike right at 12 at the road. It's a rental bike. It should be parked along the motorways. And nothing would have happened if I had gone home at once. But I decided to check my phone. The red girls wrote me on Tinder. And 3 or 4 minutes into this task, suddenly I heard a car stop near me. My first reaction was, it's not a police car. It was Win Best Security. However, out of it, there went 4 policemen and said, young man, what are you doing here at this time? Show us your documents. I said, I have my documents here in my phone in Dia. And actually, it's only 5 minutes past 12, and this is my house, 50 meters from here. And this is not even a police car you're in. They say, so what? Mussolini was arrested by ambulance, and you are coming with us. I said, hey, can you just check my documents and let me go? A year ago, I watched a video on YouTube, and they did exactly like this. They said, no, You will go with us to the police department. They will identify you, and they will let you go. It will take you only 10 minutes. And I just couldn't resist this brilliant logic, especially being surrounded by 4 armed men. Luckily, they didn't kidnap me on that Wimbest car. 3 minutes later, we drove up to the police department, and there I saw an amazing picture. Imagine, the police building is surrounded by a fence. It has a gateway and a sentry box near it. And near the gate, there is a smoking crowd of not the best people of our city, surrounded by police. My guys say, we think you need to wait here a little bit before you can enter. Can you imagine? There was a queue to be arrested, for God's sake. Most people in the queue were drunk and were conducting meaningful conversations with the surrounding police. Hey, who do you think I am? I missed my last minibus. I can speak whatever language I want. Can you spare a cigarette, please? I was standing there, and while I saw that some people were going out from the gate, I wanted to sneak in, but the sentry guy shouted at me, hey, you want to jump the queue? You will go after those 3 guys from Gendelic, and after those 2 drunk girls. And then your policeman standing. Stand near him. Stand still. Can you imagine? I had my personal policeman. Have you ever had a personal policeman? I have had one. I wonder, can I call him at night and ask some question? I looked at my phone. It was almost 1 a.m. and I can already hear the sweet voice of my nutrition specialist. Tymur, did you again go to bed late? Finally, it was my time to come in. The sentry guy registered me in the log, asked me not to lean on the box because it is painted. And me and my personal policeman, we went to that holy ground, finally. Since it's my personal guy, I used the privilege to ask him a question. Listen, how do I go home? What if another patrol stops me? He says, don't worry, just do this. I said, like this, meaning I give up, don't shoot? He said, no, you will see. Then we entered the room, and there it happened almost like in American police movies. They took pictures of me, front view, side view, pictures of my phone, pictures of me holding my phone, took my fingerprints. And for this, I had to stain all my palms in something black. And there was no possibility to wash hands, of course. But the drunk lady before me, she was even more disappointed. You have no right to hold me here. I want champagne. What are you doing? You're taking those fingerprints in the wrong way. The policeman said, lady, you are drunk. If I want, I can keep you here until 5 a.m. Is this what you want? Exactly. Are you sure you will sit in a cell with drug addicts and homeless people? Yes. Unfortunately, I didn't hear the end of this meaningful conversation. I was free. But the sentry guy in the box again shouted at me, hey, you need to come here. You need to sign in the log and write no here. No what? Know that you have no complaints about us. Of course, sir. Excellent service. No complaints. Okay, and don't lean on the box, it's painted. Finally, I went out and I successfully avoided on my way home all police cars and all security cars. But when I was already near my house, a usual gray car stopped near me. Out of it, there went 2 military men with assault rifles. And one said, what are you doing here, young man, at this time? I said, guys, I've been there already, and showed my black hands. They took a photo of me and left. When I came home, it was 1:30 a.m. And the guy didn't lie. The inside part really took 10 minutes. Yeah. The inside part. But still, I have good impression about this adventure. Our police is really nice because they can give you a free ride. One way, but still. They will never blame you because your trousers don't match your shoes. And they are always there to help you out when you urgently need content for a humorous speech contest. Toastmaster. Of course.
Back to me. And now 1 minute silence for our judges. Everybody's here, yeah? Okay. 1 minute of silence is over, and I'm ready to invite on the stage our third participant, Yura Boychuk, my idol, Yura Boychuk.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, who was your idol in your childhood? Superman, Terminator, Duel of Chip and Dale? I had one idol, one cartoon idol, who was the richest creature in Death Cartoon's universe, and who used to dive into the pool full of golden coins. Do you know him? Exactly. You are right, Tymur. You're always guessing. So, this is my idol. This is the hero I do and worship. And he was hero for me to follow because he is, or he was, wealthy, rich, and independent. And I absorbed his principles into my life. The first principle that wasting money is a big sin in your life. Second, getting everything for free is not condemnable. Third, time is very valuable. So, and I started to implement these and similar principles of Uncle Scrooge into my life. That is why I always ask money for my birthdays. Then I just rip off my parents for babysitting my youngest sister. I just approached my mom and told her, Mommy, if you want me to babysit my sister, please, with my kitty, she is very hungry. And I also provided some homeworks and control works for my classmates, just for chewing gums and for chocolate bars. Unfortunately, they couldn't provide me with golden bars. When I became older and older, my revenues and as well as my costs grew. So I decided to severely cut them, especially in such abundances as cigarettes, alcohol, and dating with girls. Especially dating with girls. I wanted to make it as free as it should be, or even beneficial to me. So in my 20s, I just used to date girls in the parks, in the streets, in the places of interest of our city. I didn't pay a penny on these dates, except for the subway ticket, which I got with a discount since I was a student. And we just walked around and enjoyed free and fresh air, free concerts arranged by birds to us, free flowers from the public flower beds. And I even gifted girls stars from heaven for free. It was, they shouldn't pay, but thankless and I grateful they vanished. They didn't come to the following date. Therefore, I decided to change my dating strategy a bit and even wasted some money. It was back in 2017 that I invited a girl to the open air museum here in Kiev, which is called Mamaeva Sloboda. Perhaps you know it. And the entrance fee was 100 hryvnias at the time, 6 years ago. It was enormous money, guys. It's still very big money. And I had to pay. So we just entered, we walked around, we just spent half of the day there. And we ended up our visit with feeding museums, goats. And when I was just giving apples because it was September, there were a lot of apples in the museum. When I was giving the apples to the goats, to the cattle, which was in the museum, I just carelessly asked the girl if she was hungry. She immediately answered that she was starving. I reacted as a decent gentleman. Dear, it's for you. It can help you cope with the hunger. So she didn't appreciate it, as you see, yeah. But I was a bit annoyed. Come on, I wasted 100 for her for the entrance ticket. I gave her an apple which I could have eaten on my own, and I didn't charge it since it was for free without any delivery and wiping costs. So my strategy didn't work. I decided that never again I wouldn't pay a penny on dates. But I continued inviting girls to free events like exhibitions, to museums where they had special days with free admission. And I knew that after these visits, we would be definitely hungry. And to cope with the hunger, I thoroughly elaborated one win-win solution, which I used once. And I'm going to share it with this solution right now. I just approached, honey, are you hungry after this visit? Whoa, that's very good. So with no further delay, I just offer to go directly to your home to enjoy this delicious, this tasty, this yummy meals that you have cooked for me. And I will be the first man to inspect your fridge, to inspect your flat, and to inspect all the contents of the fridge for this divine food you have inside of it. And we'll be just so content, so pleased, and on cloud nine, just consuming the meals you prepared for me. Honestly, I received that gaze of discontent and misunderstanding. How dared she not to know that the way to my heart was through my stomach? So another ungratefulness, and another ungratefulness, and that is why I went home and had to cook supper on my own. Just after this unforgettable evening, I just realized that in any case, I didn't waste a penny on the date. I didn't waste money. I didn't pay. And I just stick to the principles of Uncle Scrooge, because I adore and worship him very much, my precious. Thank you.
Okay. 1 minute silence for our judges. Heavy. Oh, my bad. Yeah. Keep silent, please, my dear. Our judges need to watch. 1 minute of silence is over, and I'm ready to welcome on the stage our fourth participants. Volodymyr Ukrainets, Miraculous Rescue, Volodymyr Ukrainets.
So, have you ever wanted to change the fate of your favorite character while watching a film or TV series? To help him or her at the critical moment, using your superpowers or being endowed with extraordinary abilities. Such were my thoughts when I watched the TV series Game of Thrones. Because those who watched it may remember one of the most shocking episodes, namely the Red Wedding. The massacre which ended with the death of King Robb Stark, King in the North. His wife Talisa, she was a healer with whom Robb met during the war, fell in love, though he was promised to marry another. His mother Caitlin and his army. And today, I'll tell you the story of how one of Ned Stark's sons may be able to change the course of events and save the above-mentioned family members. So, his name was Nazario Stark. He was a middle son. Since his childhood, he had one unique ability. He was invulnerable, proficient with weapons. And like all the Starks, he had his own direwolf. They are large predatory animals, size of a horse, resembles much to ordinary gray wolves, but much larger than the latter, and whose name was Lightning. Soon, Nazario wandered off with his direwolf, and during his wanderings, he stumbled upon a settlement which was called the Westeros Siege. It was inhabited by Cossacks, who were forced to leave their home after it was destroyed. At first, they received him warily, but after Nazario showed diplomacy and military skills, because Cossacks negotiated with cities across the sea and in Westeros, and were sometimes mercenaries, they made him their hetman, an analog of the king. There was a lot of news coming to the siege, so Nazario heard of his father's arrest and execution, and that his older brother Robb was called the king in the north and gathered an army. But soon something happened which changed the course of events. One of Cossacks shot down a raven. Ravens were used as postmen to send messages, and brought the letters to his hetman. The letters were of great interest to hetman because they bore the seal of House Lannister, with whom Robb was currently at war. But the contents shocked him. It revealed the plan of assassination of Robb, his army, his family, during the wedding with the twins. He gathered his Cossacks, told them about everything, and heard the indignant cries like, "How? To do this to hetman's brother and his family? And at the beginning, no, it won't happen, it won't happen." And it was decided to leave immediately to arrive on time. And Cossacks said, "Leave us, we have nothing to lose, we are with you." And hetman can only say, "Glory to you, my fellow brothers." Soon an army mounted on foot, about 10,000 was assembled, and they rode swiftly towards the twins, and they arrived just on time. The part of the North Cossacks joined the Northmen fighting the place, while the other part, led by hetman, stormed the castle, preventing any resistance. During the battle, they managed to free Robb's direwolf, whose name was Greywind. Hetman himself broke into the castle, cut down Greys and Boltons like this. With his saber, and broke into the main hall where the wedding was taking place, where Lothar, one of Walder Frey's sons, owners of the castle, was ready to stab Talisa to death. But soon, unfortunately, there was the cry to sound like this: "Mother, my lady, get down under the table, quickly!" And then, and bullet from Hetman Samopal struck down Lothar while the battle was raging in the hall. Soon, the battle was over, and then one of the Cossacks, whose name was Bogdan Nichayevsky, strong and muscular, arrived into the hall and said, "Hetmane, it is over. The battle is won." And as soon as those who were responsible for this crime were executed, and women who dwelt there were spared, Hetman approached them and said, "I live your life to tell the tale. And if you ask about what happened here, tell them. The North remembers. Tell them. Winter came for house rain, soon will come to others." And they left. So, Rick and his family survived. But it is not over yet, because the North remembers, and their enemies must watch out. So, stay tuned for more announcement. Thank you.
One minute of silence for our judges. Do you need something? Do we need to one more sound check with Kevin? For them. We need, no? That's okay. One minute is over, and I'm ready to invite on our virtual stage fifth participant, Kevin Becks, the Leaking Kettle and the Library. The Leaking Kettle and the Library, Kevin Becks.
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. Now that was the theme tune from Monty Python, and a song in its own right as well. But this is about looking on the bright side of life. And my particular role model was my mother, my mum. Goes back to an early age. She always found humor in even the most terrible situations, sometimes inappropriately, but she did. So let me go back to us. Maybe I was a young child, and my first time I'd ever come across death. We was on a holiday camp. Now, Dec will know what holiday camp is. In the UK, in the 60s and 70s, people went on holiday to holiday camps. Generally, they were old army camps, just changed over. A bit like a sanatorium with no medical facilities, just sports and entertainment. And it was Saturday to Saturday. You went Saturday to Saturday. With the last day, Saturday morning, you sat down to have breakfast. We was eating our breakfast amongst all the campers. And we heard that a man had died and drowned in the swimming pool on the Friday night. My brother and I were a little bit shocked first time of coming across death. My mum saw this and she decided to say, well, if he died on Monday, it wouldn't have been as good. He wouldn't have got his money's worth. He'd got the whole week. So that was her way of trying to diffuse the situation using humor. Now, there's a joke out there. This reminds me of when my mum was talking to a cancer doctor. And the joke goes that a man sees the cancer to the doctor to find out about his tests. And the doctor says, yeah, well, I'm sorry to tell you, you have got cancer and you will probably die within a few months. And the man looks at him and then he says, you also got Alzheimer's where you lose your memory. And the man says, well, at least I haven't got cancer. My mum was a bit like that. But when she was told that the breast cancer had gone, but she's now got bone cancer and it is terminal, what did she say? Not, oh no, we're going to die. No, she said, can I start smoking now then, doctor, please? And the doctor said, well, why not? Why not? So she started smoking. She stopped smoking for several years. Suddenly she was a chain smoker again and enjoying life. So that was her way of dealing with, with humor, with the dreadful situation. Now, she was always a prankster. She always sort of found a joke and made a joke. And when she died, probably 5 years ago almost now, my father died just under a year later. He couldn't live without his wife. So my friend Peter and I had to clear out his house, clear out the house, the bungalow that they lived in. And then two things we came across that made me think of my mum. The first one, we went to the understairs cupboard. Although it was a bungalow, meant to be on one floor, they actually had an upstairs, which is weird. We saw a box, a kettle in a box. Nothing unusual about that, except in my mum's handwriting was written that this was 5 years ago. So it was issued in 2011, I think. Yeah, date November 2011. Leaking kettle. I mean, who keeps a leaking kettle? And it's why would they date it and actually still have the box? They bought it in maybe some years before. I just think my mum was setting up a prank on me. Maybe for like 5 years or 4 years, I've been, why? Why have they got this leaking kettle? Why'd they keep it? And I'm sure my mum did it just to cause me some, as a laugh, really, after she died from the grave. But the real joke she played, brilliant, I think. It made me laugh. The real joke that she played was a few years before she passed away, my ex-wife and I and my mum and dad were playing cards in their library. My dad goes outside. My mum says, quick, while he's gone, when we both die, don't throw these books out. You might find some money between the pages, £20 here and a £10 there and a $5, maybe, because she always kept her little supply of money. They were old-fashioned. My dad had the finances. And although he'd always buy whatever she wanted, she liked to have a little bit of money, give it to her grandson without him knowing. I mean, he knew anyway. So I don't know what it was all about, but so look in the pages. So I remembered this when I was clearing out the library. Hundreds of books in there. So I went through them painstakingly, shelf after shelf, one by one. Where's the money? Where's the money? And there was money that my dad told me. I told my Peter about, because he told us where the money was in the house, and there was a significant sum. I thought, wow, there's going to be a lot of money here. So I went through book after book after book, and my back was aching, my knee was hurting. I got to that age, and all of these books. How much do you think I found? Zero. There was no money in the books. My mum set up this joke maybe 7 years before she died, just to get at me before after she'd gone, just for a laugh. I just thought it was so funny that even when she was thinking of dying, she was still setting up a prank for when she's gone. So, yeah, it was how she was. When she had her cancer, she never complained about pain, but she had a lot of it. She would just find a way of laughing. So that was her take on life. Never complain about things. Always find the bright side. Always find the way of finding the joke. And this is what I urge everybody here to do. Going forward, be happier. Don't complain. Find the bright side. Find the best things that happen. Find a joke. Make other people laugh, because always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of death. Da 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 da. Thank you. Contest chair.
1 minute of silence is over, and I'm ready to invite our 6 participants who also online on our virtual stage. I see him here. Oleksandr Myronchuk, what's your hobby? What's your hobby, Oleksandr Myronchuk?
How many of you spend hours scrolling TikTok, watching silly videos and laughing at ridiculous memes? Is that modern day experience where you intended to watch only one quick video, and before you know it, you're journeyed through a 15 videos of dancing poodle in a dress? A makeup challenge. Who has the fastest garbage can? Or a tutorial on how to survive a zombie apocalypse if you only have a tea kettle. At 3 a.m., you ask yourself, why on earth did I spend all this precious time? And then I saw this photo. It's called hobby horse riding. People train for years to run on a racetrack and jump over obstacles, holding an artificial horse head. Why do they do it? You will ask. In order to take a part in the international championship in running with the horse's head. From that moment on, I realized that my life was pretty dull. I urgently need a fun and silly hobby. So I set out on a mission to find the most ridiculous hobby in the world. And this guy helped me. This crazy man is photo boomer. Photo bombing is like being the hilarious surprise guest at the party you weren't even invited to. Suddenly, bam, you're in the picture, making faces or striking a pose. That would more funny than a joke telling a rubber chicken. It's the art of turning a regular photo into unexpected giggle fest. It leaves everyone wondering, who invited that goofball? Do you know who also like this hobby? Animals! Not only just the furry ones that give you warm, fuzzy feelings. I also like that ones that are so silly. Just look at them makes you snort. Just imagine. You're all set a capture for a sincere selfie with a picturesque landscape behind you. And out of nowhere, a llama appears behind you, striking a pose that would put runway models to shame. It's like the Mother Nature teamed up with a prankster to create the ultimate candidate camera moments. Who needs a regular old photo when you can have a llama photobomb extravaganza? The previous one are fun, but I'm on the hunt for a hobby that doesn't involve knitting doilies or arranging flowers delicately. I want an activity that roars, macho man, louder than a lion in a tutu. So I've been on a prowl for a hobby that will toughest of the toughest guy will raise eyebrow at. And guess what I stumbled upon? Brace yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for the gold? It is extreme ironing. Yeah, you heard me right. It is extreme ironing. Tired of running, washing, tired of a routine of short washing? Well, said goodbye to laundry boredom. Grab your iron, dash to a cliff, and take daring dive into the sea, your favorite short in tow. Or for the most ultimate laundry adventure, parachute off that cliff, soaring through the sky with your short by your side. No more dash laundry days. It's ultimate excitement and freshness in adrenaline-packed trip. And that's a wrap, everyone. I encourage you to welcome these quirky, wonderfully strange hobbies into your life. Let your playful spirit roam free, whether you're trotting with a faking horse, or pumping up unexpectedly in llama selfie, or bravely diving into the sea with a closest iron. Always remember, life is more fun when we don't take it too seriously. Here's to embrace the wonderfully weird and delightfully entertaining moment that makes life awesome. May your adventure be full of laughter.
Right. One minute is over, and I'm ready to invite on our virtual stage our next participant, Tetiana Bilous. Impact. Impact, Tetiana Bilous.
Good afternoon, dear Toastmaster and guests. The way of self-discovery very often leads us to unpredictable destinations. Once, my friend and I were walking around in town. It is the very city center in Dublin, and suddenly we found ourselves in a pub. Why? Because the good weather outside is not the reason to refuse a pint of cider. When I absorbed my pint of cider, I said to my friend, you know, I think that I should buy a car to feel comfortable without an umbrella. But she replied, no, not now. Now Venus and Mars are retrograde. Wait a month. And when Venus changes its direction, you can buy a car, but it should be pink. Pink. I named my car. I had swallow, hawk, buffalo, and finally, I will have a pink pig. Who else? Everything dedicated to Venus. Guys, please raise your hand who believed in the astrology prediction. Thank you. And now I understand whom this column, horoscope column in the daily newspaper are dedicated. For you. Regarding myself, I should have believed to astrology. A few weeks ago, I was in town. I was waiting for my friend near the Spire. It is the local meeting place. And a man asked me something. I respond. And finally, he said me, you know, you look unhappy. Would you like I buy a dress or something else? If you wish. But why do you decide that you in the dress make me happy? In 1 hour, I understand that it was silly flirting. It was the impact of the last day retrograde Venus. This year, I try to monitor all moving stars in the sky because I have a friend, an astrologer. And she said that the people very often want to know about their weaknesses, their talents, and their ability to make money. My advice to you guys, when are you going to a job interview, you should check your horoscope and be prepared appropriately. I will show you. Good afternoon. Let me introduce myself. I am Tetiana. And according to zodiac sign, I am Cancer. And it means that I am perceptive, empathetic, shy, noble, careful, and far-sighted. And I think that this position is dedicated for me. I am the right person. But did you hear the breaking news? Last week, NASA announced that there is 13 zodiac signs of Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is located between Scorpio and Sagittarius. And 85% of people are impacted. And now, I am not a Cancer. I am Gemini. And as for me, it is a very high time to start making hasty decisions. Live for today. Don't think about future. And don't plan a long-term plans. Dear friends, I think that the astrology has impact at all aspects of our life. When my husband decided to lose its weight, I checked very carefully what the diet will be best for him according his zodiac sign. And the diet is the next. First day, water and vegetable broth. Next days, vegetables. And repeat your first day every 2-3 days. But my husband is a dragon, according to Chinese horoscope. I am ox. And as ox, I prefer to have fat, but fat dragon in my house. Dear friends, astrologers gives us a lot of predictions and advice. But you are the builder of your own life, and you are responsible for your happiness. Lady Chair?
And now we have 2 minutes for our judges to fill ballot and for you to choose the best speaker in your opinion, let's send to our chat in Telegram and also in Zoom links for Google Forms for voting. Everybody in this audience, even our guests, love to vote for best speaker in their opinion. Okay, is over. And now I want to one more say thank you to all people who are participating in our Humorous. I see our chief judge collect ballots. And now we move to our second contest, the table topic, and we have order all participants, but I will get to this later. Now all participants of table topic session will answer for the